Okay, we're back, folks. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. I know, first 30 minutes, little wide open, I understand that, but you know, I missed yesterday. You know how I get. I could not wait to get back. I'm not angry, but I'm very over the top. I'm over the media. I'm so over these people, okay? I am so over these people. In fact, I want to open up, and I want to thank the President of the United States for sending me this tweet yesterday. He sent this tweet direct to me. I think it's called Trump Tweets Reporters. It came straight to me. Anyhow, put that up for me. Trump Tweets Reporters, that picture. And yesterday, Trump sent me a tweet, the President of the United States, and it said, do we have that? Okay, there we go. Thanks a lot. Despite some very corrupt and dishonest media coverage, there are many great reporters. Thank you, Mr. President. I respect a lot of good news. Thank you again, Mr. President, for the American people to be proud of. So for the Joseph Stalin comments, where I'm not going to get worked up. Folks, don't forget, you got Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Saul Alinsky. They're working straight out of the Reds. I don't have time to explain what the Reds mean, okay? And you have the nerve of Jeff Flakes, the former, he will be soon, hopefully, the former senator of Arizona, telling us that Joseph Stalin is the enemy. The enemy of the American people is the press. When Trump says that, it is Joseph Stalin, autocratic. Autocratic. That's one of their favorite words today, autocratic. Really, I am so over the media, all right? Despite some very corrupt and dishonest media coverage, there are many great reporters I respect and a lot of good news for the American people to be proud of. Now, let me move on from that. Now, the doctor said, and I have the video, okay? We're going to play the video, and I wanted you to pay attention to it. And the reason I want to do this today, I told you, I'm thinking yesterday, I thought, wait a minute, there's a government shutdown. All right, wait a minute. CNN, over at CNN, put the government shutdown clock. I mean, I'm not bouncing around, folks. I'm really not. But over on CNN, the government is so excited. CNN is so excited that they have, and this was a couple days ago, it's just a print, government shutdown clock in the corner. So if you accidentally stumble upon CNN and you accidentally watch 3 or 4 minutes of it, in the bottom corner there's a government shutdown clock. Do we have that? Okay, the government shutdown clock over at CNN. There it is. The government. That's what you'll find in the bottom corner. They cannot wait for the government to shut down. Now this is when it was 5 days, 25 hours, and 19 minutes. All right. Now it is winding down this clock. And so that's over at CNN. That's what they're focused on. I, for one, don't care. Shut the government down. But getting back to the president's health, I didn't want to do this. I'll do it later. Because what's left from the deep state dark side? What is left? Russian investigation, collusion, obstruction. We know there's nothing there where Donald J. Trump's concerned. We know there's every bit of Russian collusion and deep state corruption where Comey, FBI, we can go into that. I am not concerned at all. Somebody yesterday called me, hey, there's an emergency subpoena for Steve Bannon. Don't care. Now, I'll keep an eye on it. Don't care, all right? Democrats are going to keep that Russian 2016 thing going until 2018, all they can. That being said, they have played all the cards. Last week, racism. I mean, they've gone from race. There's, to me, are now cognitive. I'm serious. Like, the guy's crazy. His health, he drinks Diet Cokes. There's only one thing left. One thing left. And I'm going to tell you, what is the one thing left to do where President Donald Trump's concerned and the deep state? The media, the deep state. What is the one thing left to do that they haven't tried? DEFCON 5, is that what it is? DEFCON? I'll tell you in a minute. So here's Dr. Jackson's video of his cognitive functions. Let's play that till I say come back. So tell me when you got that ready. I know I just jumped right into that. So let me know when you got that ready and tell me. All right, let's go ahead and play that for
as part of your exam. I'm wondering if you talked to the president about this, about the president's mental fitness. He has pushed back on that, calling himself a staple genius. Can you assess the president's mental fitness for office?
Absolutely. So many of you may have picked up on the fact that we did do a cognitive assessment as part of the exam. And initially, you know, I had no intention of including a cognitive assessment in this exam because, to be honest with you, per all the guidelines that are out there, it's not indicated at this time. A lot of the guidelines would suggest that you do cognitive screening questions, and that if you have a positive or concerning answer in the screening questions, that then you engage with a cognitive screening tool. So I had no intentions whatsoever of doing that, like I said, because I didn't feel it was clinically indicated. And part of the reason I didn't think it was clinically indicated is because I've spent almost every day in the president's presence since January 20, 2000, or last year, when he got into office. And I've seen him every day. I see him 1, 2, sometimes 3 times a day because of the location of my office. We have conversations about many things. Most don't revolve around medical issues at all. But I've got to know him pretty well. And I had absolutely no concerns about his cognitive ability or his neurological function. So I was not going to do a cognitive exam. I had no intention of doing one. The reason that we did the cognitive assessment is plain and simple because the president asked me to do it. He came to me and he said, is there something we can do, a test or some type of screen that we can do to assess my, my cognitive ability? And so I looked into it. And once again, and my initial question was that I didn't think it was indicated and I didn't think we should do it. After looking at some of the guidelines, there are a few guidelines out there that lean in the direction of potentially doing it. You know, the Medicare guidelines and some of the NIH, National Institute of Aging, they've indicated that it might be a good thing to start doing for most patients in the future. With that in mind, I went through and I looked at a variety of the cognitive assessments that were available. Most of them were very simple, very short, and I think that's the goal actually for primary care providers in doing this, is to keep it simple, keep it short. We picked one of the ones that was a little bit more involved. It was longer. It was the more difficult one of all of them. It took significantly longer to complete, but the president did exceedingly well on it. So that was not driven at all by any clinical concerns I have. It was driven by the president's wishes, and he did well on it.
So to follow up, the president's personal doctor memorably said during the campaign that he would be the healthiest individual ever elected to the presidency. Do you agree with that assessment?
I'm not going to comment on that. My job is to basically give you my assessment of President Trump today, and I'm not going to make any comparisons with presidents over the last 200 years or anything.
Back to me. Back. Okay, his mental fitness. See, Trump, they have taken him to task. They have taken the President of the United States to task over his mental fitness, okay? And he even went out and said, maybe even I'm a genius, right? So Dr. Jackson put up, just go between the 2 Dr. Jackson pictures I have. He said he gave the president, at the president's request, a cognitive function test, okay? He gave the president the request, at his request, he said he gave him a difficult test to check him out, gave him a difficult test, and he passed, did very well. The president of the United States is not crazy. Now, I'm going to play, some people, you have John Carl, just keep going back and forth as much as you want over there on the 2 pictures, Dr. Jackson and President Donald J. Trump. They gave him his examination. Now, John Carl with ABC looks at this guy and says, come on now, you're telling us a guy 71 years old, 71 years old, and he's eating fried chicken, and he's eating McDonald's, and he's drinking Diet Cokes. Come on, there's got to be something. Got to be something here. Really? You got to give us something. The media was in there. Now, they weren't talking about North Korea and the Blades of Glory, where, you know, North Korea and South Korea, the Blades of Glory, they're going to come together and they're going to have a women's ice hockey team together. Blades of Glory. I mean, no, they're not asking about North Korea. They're not. I watched, please, I'm asking forgiveness too. I watched MSNBC and some CNN this morning to see what they would say. And I wanted to see what MSNBC, if they would open with Apple. Now, Apple that's the millennials made Apple. I mean, that generation, I mean, my God, they love Apple everything, okay? And I was wondering if their audience, MSNBC's audience, if they would open up with this enormous news that Tim Cook has discovered America. No, did not. But they talked this morning and opened up with Dr. Jackson. John Carl Bake, and then there's reporters in the room saying, okay, get the CNN video about the Diet Cokes ready. Now, I know what you're saying. Oh, wait a minute. What about yesterday? You have this same doctor yesterday on CNN, and they're looking at a certain test. And now they're out there telling you that Trump is guaranteed to have a heart attack from 3 to 5 years, okay? 3 to 5 years, guaranteed to have a heart attack, President of the United States, all right? And there's people in this room actually asking this doctor, wait a minute, have you looked at Trump's behavior? Have you studied his behavior? You got to give us something. So this is an older report, but this same doctor, okay? Do you have that video ready? Play that video. This is CNN. I think it's about a month ago.
This weekend with some fascinating details about the life behind closed doors at the White House and reporting that President Trump may be a major fan of Diet Coke. I want to talk about this now with our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Sanjay Gupta. It's good to have you on.
Thank you, sir.
I think we always talk about President's health, and it is important to assess the President's health. After all, he's the leader of the free world. So can we talk about, he drinks up to, this is according to the New York Times, up to a dozen Diet Cokes throughout the day. What does that do to someone?
Well, you know, I mean, obviously that's a lot of caffeine. There's about 46 milligrams of caffeine per Coke. Put it over the day, you're getting close to 500 milligrams. Now, we don't know if he takes other sources of caffeine. I mean, so if he's not a coffee drinker, you know, coffee has a lot of caffeine in it as well. This may be his source of caffeine. The thing is that it, you know, causes a lot of things that you'd expect a lot of caffeine to cause. Irritability, insomnia, sometimes you become more unfocused when you're drinking that much caffeine. That's really sort of the issue with something like this. But there are a lot of, you know, President Clinton was someone who was famous for drinking Diet Cokes. He had a little button under his desk. Diet Coke would appear when he hit the button. That was sort of his thing as well. So
I keep him in my office.
Okay, folks. Dr. Sanjay, a dozen Diet Cokes. Folks, I want you to go into your local store where you stop in this morning. And I want you to see how many shoulder-to-shoulder people are shoulder-to-shoulder getting a cup of coffee in America. I want you to go into your local store this morning, and I want you to go over and I want you to look at your power drinks, your monsters. You know, it is. Let me tell you something, okay? These high-energy drinks, which I do not drink them, okay? I do not. I'm concerned about this generation today that are taking in massive amounts of these high energy drinks. I'm concerned, but Coca-Cola has launched a new line of Diet Coke and Coke products with a skinny can with different flavors to appeal to this generation that is hooked on these energy drinks in the stores, from Monster to Amp, all of them. I don't know all of them, but I want you to go in this morning with America going to work, because actually they're going to work because the President of the United States economy is busting out the seams. But they're going to work, and they are lined up shoulder to shoulder, okay? Shoulder to shoulder, getting a cup of coffee, shoulder to shoulder, buying Monster energy drinks, Amp, all of that stuff. But this is how they treat your President of the United States. Now, I'm going to play you a video, And I'm going to play you a video. And the reason is I want you to stay with this video. And I'm asking you from me to you to stay with this video because I think this actually sums up, all right, how the president, how the media uses, let's go, it's called Age 3. They treat him like a 3-year-old. You got that video in there? Okay. This is truly, I really want you to watch this for a reason. I don't want you to go away. This is not being silly. This is actually the way your media thinks of your president of the United States. Play this video.
Cognitive development refers to your child's ability to learn, think, and problem solve. While all children develop at a different rate, typically by the age of 3, your child is now learning more through doing and through the senses. So they're really active, they like to run around and climb on things in the playground, and they really like to play dress up, play make-believe. So this is a great time to get them costumes, either princess costumes or pirate costumes, and have them really kind of play with those items and have fun with it. That's how they learn. They're also able to now screw and unscrew jars. They're able to turn door handles. They're able to complete 3 to 4 piece puzzles. They're also able to stack about 6 blocks high. And they're also really engaged in knowing the time. They're very into now, soon, and later. However, they don't really understand what that means. So this is really a great time to use timers and to say things like 5 more minutes of play and maybe set a timer before it's time to wash up. This really gets them engaged in knowing that now is now, and in 5 minutes when that timer goes off, that's when 5 minutes is up. Again, your child at 3 is really into learning through the senses and doing. So provide them with ample opportunities to learn through use of puzzles, through use of matching games, because they're now loving to match pictures and objects, and through make-believe opportunities, plays like costume play and kitchen and a doctor set, and have fun with them because this is really a very fun age.
71 years old, folks. This is a very fun age. Just have fun with them. This is a very fun age. That's 71. Now, I know what you think out there. Could I pick any... folks, this is so how the media thinks of your president of the United States. Puzzles and graphs at age 3. Okay? The media, okay, Chris Wallace, they all went nuts, right? Right? They went nuts. Who is the head of the CIA? What's his name? Pompeo, right? Mike Pompeo, the head of the CIA, they have him on Fox News. Well, we understand in those morning briefings, the president can only look at pictures. You have to show him pictures. Really? I'm serious. If you are paying attention, what I just played for you for a minute and a half is exactly how they're treating your president of the United States. You remember Pompeo said, I'm not going to dignify this with an answer. Remember, are you on your daily, they want you to believe, the media has tried everything to get you to believe on the daily threat assessment to this country, that Trump can only understand it if they bring him pictures, okay, at 3 years old. Problem solving. Now, 5 minutes when a timer goes off. How many news reports has CNN, how many news reports has MSNBC done? How many times have the New York Times, Washington Post broke down that this guy's attention span in the room? That even when, I read a report that said that even when he's meeting with a foreign leader, he can't even hold his attention for 5 minutes. Okay, 5-minute timers. Okay, they're obsessed at this age with knowing the time. Could you see a meeting in a room, Trump going, what time is it? Hey, you, what time is it? I need a Diet Coke. What time is it? Hey, what time is it? Right, obsessed with time, always want to know. And how about this? Could you see this? Can you see Saturday Night Live doing this? Okay, I can't get the lid off the jar. I'll give it to me. I can get the... They bring the president in jars to see if he can unscrew a jar. You think I'm silly? You think I'm really being silly right now? You're saying, hey, Why are you being so silly? No, if you're not paying attention, what I just played for you for the last minute and a half is exactly how they think of your president of the United States. That's not a joke. Cognitive function. So the president says, look, they're trying to do everything in the world to say I'm crazy. All right, I've got Mike Pompeo. I've got everybody out there saying the president's very engaged in what's going on, okay, on a daily basis. So he says to the doctor, Dr. Jackson, hey, let's add cognitive function. Because these people think I'm crazy. I want them to understand I can do problem solving, okay? And he does that. Can't accept that. We can't accept that. He does that. You know, the only thing I'm waiting for the President of the United States to do is, you know, come in and give a speech in a pirate costume. All right? I swear to God, these people have lost it. If you do not understand where I'm talking about the cognitive function of the President of the United States and what has drove them absolutely crazy, okay? If you didn't understand that video I just played, then you don't understand what they're trying to do to the President of the United States. I'm going to make a comment because I want to come back and I want to go to the foul language. I don't want to use all the foul language. I want to go to the foul language. I want to go to that. There's some comments on that. I want to go to what Cory Booker did and what Dick Durbin has done. I want to go to shutting down the government. I want to talk about Fannin County High School athletics. I want to talk about who Margaret Williamson is and why she's not why she hasn't told me, but who she's running against for State House, Georgia State House, 7th District. I want to talk about that, some more of the tweets, the fake news awards. John Kelly, Chief of Staff John Kelly, I want to talk about building the Mexican wall, building the wall and who's going to pay for it. I'm going to tell you who's going to do that right after this break. But let me tell you, I got to say this, and I want to go to break, okay? And I want to say this, hang on, folks. Please do not get upset with me. I beg you not to get upset with me. And I want to watch the way I say this because there may be people out there that take what I say out of context. I'm going to leave it alone. I played that video for a reason. There's a segment, deep state corruption, that their number one mission is to remove the President of the United States from office. When they get up on a daily basis, there's nothing else between them and trying to remove the President from the Oval Office. They have tried crazy. They have tried the foul language. They're caught off guard all over the kind of language he used. They have tried floating out the story that Trump was a porn star, okay? I mean, there is nothing. The Russian investigation, collusion, racism, Charlottesville, they tried to tie him and everything together with Roy Moore down there in Alabama. I mean, they have tried everything. Only one thing left for the deep state and the corruption of this country to do may be the last resort. And I'm afraid to say that's to kill the President of the United States. And I have to tell you, I come to you this morning a nervous wreck of what's next with these people. Anybody that will go as low as they're going, as dirty as they're going, as nasty as they're going, I'm afraid of what's next and the safety of our President of the United States. And since the inauguration of January 20th, this happens to be 1 year, 2 more days. You know, we're only 2 days away. It's 1/18/2018, and we're only 2 days away from January 20th. And it's the first time I've said that in a year of what my concern is. And God, I pray I am totally and completely wrong. But, you know, I certainly hope the President of the United States is very aware of his surroundings. And he's got somebody testing the soup at night. Or at least taking a bite. Here, you take a bite out of my Big Mac. All right? All right. I will open my own Diet Coke, damn it. Don't bring my Diet Coke already opened. No, no, no. Sorry, the bad word, okay? I'm your host, BKP. Let's come back, and we're going to do a couple more brief stories, and then we are going to go local. Fannin County, we're going to go local up there, and local politics. I'm your host, BKP. Take us a break.